Good day. It's April 8, 2024. After a world pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu and U.S. President Joseph Biden, the U.S. President had asked the Israeli Prime Minister for an immediate ceasefire following an attack on humanitarian aid workers by the Israeli Defense Force. I'm Sam Buban. Welcome to this week's edition of The Pulse.
And I'm Sarah Obal. Welcome to The Pulse.
7 members of the humanitarian organization World Central Kitchen were killed by Israeli forces last week. With mounting pressure from Americans, President Biden told Israel on Thursday in a phone call to Benjamin Netanyahu that he needs to see immediate changes to protect civilian lives in Gaza or he'll reduce U.S. support, according to a report from multiple media outlets. In a report from Time magazine, in a tense phone call, Biden told Prime Minister Netanyahu that Israel has to make immediate actions to protect civilian lives and allow food aid into Gaza, or Biden will change his administration's support for the country's military campaign against Hamas. Biden described as unacceptable Israel's strike against humanitarian workers and the overall situation civilians are facing in Gaza.
Biden's phone call with Netanyahu marked a significant shift in his approach to Israel following that military strike that killed 7 World Central Kitchen aid workers on Monday last week, that drawn condemnation around the globe. Specifically, the Biden administration expects to see Israel open up more crossings for aid to get to Gaza, more food-filled trucks be allowed to enter, particularly from Jordan, and the Israel military take proper steps to ensure safe travel for aid workers. According to the National Security Council spokesman John Kirby in a press conference, Kirby said Biden is demanding Israel to take concrete steps to alleviate human suffering in Gaza in the coming hours and days. If we don't see changes from their side, there will have to be changes on our side, John Kirby said.
Israel has killed tens of thousands of civilians during the operation to destroy Hamas's leadership and its network of tunnels under Gaza used as ammunition stores. Biden and senior U.S. officials have been telling Israel leaders for months that they are concerned about Israel's indiscriminate bombing in Gaza and Israel's refusal to allow enough food into Gaza, putting more than 1 million people on the brink of famine. Kirby mentioned to reporters a growing frustration on the part of President Biden and his senior administration officials.
Republican presumptive nominee Donald Trump, during his speech in Green Bay, Wisconsin, his second stop on the upper Midwest as part of his presidential campaign, is trying to push the so-called blue wall, as stated in the live feed by Natasha Kurecki and Gabe Gutierrez of the NBC News. In his statement, Trump tried to connect the general election as he has lost the votes last time by about 20,000 votes. It seems like Trump is playing catch-up here with Democratic nominee Joe Biden, who has been all over the map since Super Tuesday. While Trump's having his speech in the Midwest, President Joe Biden also went after Trump regarding the issue of abortion access. As he quoted one of Trump's social media posts, "You already made your statement, Donald," Biden tweeted, attaching a past post by Trump with certain words circled in red. "I was able to kill Roe versus Wade," Biden campaign spokesperson Sarafina Chitika said in a statement. Donald Trump said that women should be punished for having an abortion, is running on a national ban, and supports cruel state bans like Florida's. Trump is proud he overturned Roe versus Wade, and he is responsible for every extreme abortion ban, every attack on contraception, and every cruel, dangerous restriction placed on women because of it. It has been reported that Florida Supreme Court allowed for the 6-week ban, making it one of the most restrictive laws in the nation. Abortion is among the most controversial of issues for Trump's candidacy. While he is quick to remind traditionalists that he appointed 3 Supreme Court justices who helped form the majority that overturned abortion protections in 2022, he has so far veered away of saying what should come next.
Some in his parties are looking for a national ban, and Trump himself said he was contemplating of a national ban at 15 or 16 weeks. In an interview last month with Sid Rosenberg of WABC Radio of New York, Trump floated 15-week ban. On issues like abortions and the war in Gaza, Trump dodges, flip-flops, contradicts himself, or takes more than one side of the issue. But his polling has so far held strong. It's a potent issue that Democrats are seizing on in battleground states and nationally. Most Democrats running for office sees the abortion rights as a winning issue in their campaign. We will be back after a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Donald Trump filed a lawsuit to reclaim 8% stake in the company from Truth Social co-founders. According to ABC News, Mr. Trump sued two co-founders of his social media platform Truth Social, the Trump Media Technology Group, TMTG, Trump's social media company that is now a publicly traded company, filed a lawsuit against Wesley Moss and Andrew Litinsky, who are former Apprentice reality TV contestants, in a Florida court on March 24th, 2 days after shareholders approved the company's merger and bringing the media company public, meaning it's now a trading stocks publicly. The lawsuit alleges that Moss and Litinsky failed spectacularly in their leadership of Trump Media, made reckless and wasteful decisions, and caused significant damage to the company, according to Trump's lawsuit. Trump, who are after merger retained 60% of shares issued by the merged company, is suing to force co-founders to forfeit their shares in the company. According to a recent Securities and Exchange Commission filing, Moss and Litinsky's company, United Atlantic Ventures, owns 5.5% of Trump Media, totaling 7,525,000 shares, currently valued at $388 million. But the company, right after the merger with Digital Media Acquisition and trading started, stock's price surged last week, giving the company an $11 billion valuation, and Trump netted around $4 billion in that transaction. Though many financial analysts in Wall Street describe the price of the shares as meme stocks, and then as soon as the Trump Media Group announced that it lost $58 million last year, the price of the TMTG plunged close to 21%. The reality is Trump gained $4 billion net from the $11 billion valuation on paper, but he cannot sell his stocks for at least 6 months according to the condition of the merger. Some say it may just be a matter of time, maybe soon, that the price of Trump Media will tank, meaning it will settle on the very bottom.
Meanwhile, two of the big investors of the Trump Media company pleaded guilty to insider trading. The two brothers who helped fund Donald Trump's now public social media company pleaded guilty to 1 count of insider trading. Michael Schwartzman and Gerald Schwartzman, both from the state of Florida, made millions by trading in shares of the Digital Media Acquisition Corporation before it merged with the Trump Media. The two were arrested in July last year.
The Republican Party has been outraced by Democrats in all states in their fundraising efforts. State Republican committees nationwide are reporting shortfall in funds raised from donors up to 3-to-1 ratio compared to Democratic campaign donations. Even in the presidential contest in the month of February alone, Biden raised more than $53 million while Trump received $20.3 million. The usual big donors for the Republican presidential race appeared to be quiet and missing this year as legal troubles keep mounting on Trump. Many Republicans fear that Trump's legal problems will suck up the biggest bulk of the money from the Republican National Committee to pay for Trump's legal expense, leaving little for actual campaign expenses. We are going to take a break. Please stay with us.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Al Jazeera reported that the Senegalese fishermen are looking to the incoming president to assist them in filling their nets. Local fishermen want Diomaye Faye's government to implement changes because illicit trawlers and foreign vessels are depleting fish stocks. Inequality is only a glance away for the traditional small-scale fishermen of Dakar, Senegal city, Huakam Beach. The 58-year-old fishing boat captain, Adama Gouaye, in talking to Al Jazeera, gestured toward the coast, where majestic mansions belonging to the wealthy, including politicians, stand tall and proud just a short distance from his fishing spot. We are able to observe the disparities firsthand. He believes that the unfairness is made worse by the nation's declining fish stocks in West Africa, where the country's centuries-old custom of artisan fishing is in jeopardy due to the foreign industrial boats that harvest and ships that catch out of Senegal. However, there is a cause for optimism as Bassirou Diomaye Faye, his nation's new president, holds that position. At 44, Faye is Africa's youngest leader. He was only elected last week following years of hardships and political upheavals, which included the recent failed attempt by outgoing leader Macky Sall to postpone the election. Fishermen believes the new president represents change for many disillusioned Senegalese fishermen who believe their prior leaders have harmed them. At 44, Faye is Africa's youngest leader.
Continuing with our world news, in Argentina, after the far-right Argentinian leader Milei referred to President Petro of Colombia as a terrorist murderer during a CNN interview, Argentina and Colombia decide to patch things up. President Petro is a left-wing president. Argentina and Colombia claim to have made concrete steps to mend the strained relationship between their nations. The foreign ministers of the two countries stated in a joint statement on Sunday that they had conducted discussions at Milei's and Colombian President Gustavo Petro's request. According to the joint statement, the respective governments have taken concrete steps to overcome any differences and strengthen this relationship. The actions involved ambassadors of the two nations returning to their respective capitals after Colombia and Argentina recalled their diplomats because of Milei's remarks on CNN. Gustavo Petro, the ex-guerrilla of the FARC, the FARC, went on to become the first left-wing president of Colombia in 2022. In response to Milei's similar remarks, Colombia recalled its ambassador to Argentina in January, according to Reuters. After taking office last year on a platform of enacting shock economic reforms, Milei, a bombastic former television pundit, has run afoul with regional leaders. During his extensive Sunday interview On CNN, President Milei also referred to Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, the president of Mexico, as ignorant.
In the Russia-Ukraine war, 12 people were injured in the most extensive drone attack into Russian territory. A drone strike in the Tatarstan area of Russia, which is more than 1,300 kilometers from the Ukrainian-Russian border, has been attributed to Ukraine. 12 people were hurt in the strikes, which are the farthest into Russian territory since the war's beginning. According to local officials, the strikes occurred in a neighboring oil refinery in Neshchimavsk and the town of Yelabuga, where drone production is believed to take place. At approximately 5:45 a.m. local time, the attacks took place. Yelabuga is situated at the Special Economic Zone of Alabuga, which has a unique legislative structure designed to draw in international investment. It is believed that the Iranian Shahed drones, which Russia regularly uses to strike Ukraine, are put together at Yelabuga. In Yelabuga, at least 12 persons were hurt, all of them students, according to media reports. Rustam Minikhanov, the regional leader of Tatarstan, stated that there was no serious damage to the infrastructure in either place as a result of the drones, and that manufacturing continued as usual. The attack on Yelabuga caused significant destruction of production facilities, according to Ukraine's military intelligence. Not long after the strikes, a video appeared on the internet that appeared to show a light aircraft that was allegedly modified to fly unmanned, approaching a building in Yelabuga and then exploding, shooting a fireball skyward. Additionally, drones were seen early on Tuesday in the Lepetsk area south of Moscow, prompting the local authorities to issue an air raid warning. Kyiv has been stepping up its drone attacks on Russian territory for a few months now. Although Ukraine has issued several warnings about the serious ammunition shortages facing its army, the country has set a goal to produce 1 million drones domestically this year.
In Taiwan, where a 7.4 magnitude hit the island nation on Wednesday last week, recorded as the strongest earthquake in the island in 25 years, caused serious damage, collapsed buildings, high-rise buildings tilting, and caused some landslides. Already 9 people were confirmed dead and more than 900 were injured of varying degrees, according to reports from CNN. The conduct of Taiwanese people during the earthquake saved many lives. Taiwan has made earthquake preparedness a priority for the past 15 years, involving higher building code standards for new buildings, retrofitting, and earthquake drills in all settings publicly and in homes. We are going to show you some videos from different sources who captured these events. Watch this.
Our hearts and prayers are with the people of Taiwan. When we come back from commercial break, we will be joined here at the studio to talk with Mercedes McKinley, who is running for the school board of Clark County School District. Please stick around.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Welcome back to the polls. Joining us now here at the polls is Mercedes McKinley, who is a candidate for a seat on the school board of Clark County School District. Mercedes, thank you for taking the time to talk to us here at the polls. Mercedes, please tell our viewers a bit about yourself and what interested you to run in this election for the school board.
Fantastic. Yes. Thank you so much for having me today.
It's our pleasure.
It's really an honor to be here. What got me interested in running for the school board is that I worked as a teacher for the Clark County School District for about 3 years. And I worked as a substitute and I worked as a certified temporary tutor before I became a licensed educator. And I really want a chance to try to make things right for our students.
Well, you did your high school here, so you're practically a Nevada native.
Yes.
So you must know the schools like in and out since you lived here for your whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'm really proud of this. When I first came to this country in 1987, I came from El Salvador. I was 7 years old. Didn't speak English. And I went to Holly Hewitson Elementary, which is by 20th and Bonanza, more like Bonanza and Eastern, right in the heart of the city. So I know the schools, but my heart is really with the students and staff in a way that I don't feel this passionate about anything else, because it's who I am.
It's really cool how you actually see the current state and you try to want to make a change about it. So how are things right now? Tell us where things are right now in terms of this CCSD under a current set of our board members.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to be honest, it's kind of scary. The most recent numbers show that we are short about 1,400 teachers, and that is a lot. Last year was about 1,000, and I can honestly tell you that from the time I was working for the district, so I took my first long-term substitute job in 2018, and we were short about 700 or 800 teachers in 2018. And so I've watched these numbers grow, and then I also feel bad because I'm one of those who left. So 1,400 open vacancies, that's a lot. So we need to take care of that, number one.
Mercedes, do you have an opinion or background why Superintendent James Yara resigned in February?
Oh my goodness. That is a massive can of worms. So I'll put it to you this way. I was excited when he started in 2018. That's when I first started, and I really thought that we were going to see a lot of change. Yes. And we did, but it wasn't the kind of change I hoped for.
Okay. Are you one of those that, you believe that, if you hired somebody and they're doing a good thing, that it is the function of the board to give them that kind of support for the program that seemed to be working or that is good, Isn't that like the board should, be supportive of,
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And unfortunately, they've made decisions that I disagree with wholeheartedly. For example, one of the things I found out at that last board meeting is that they've made it optional for principals to hire a social worker. To me, I had to pick up, what do you mean? Our students desperately need access to mental health services and social services. Like I just told you, they're hungry. I was sitting there trying to figure out how to feed them. What do you mean we don't need social work? And so those types of things too really concern me. And that's why I feel, and I said that this is in my literature, because I feel that the current school board is out of touch.
So what else do you see in the board or the schools, and what do you wish to see or to happen in the CCSD if you were to get elected?
Absolutely. Well, again, I'll go back to what I said before. One of the biggest things that I really want to push for is more access to mental health care and social services for our students. Because I can sit here and tell you, yes, we're 49 out of 50. Many of our students are not reading at level. Many of our students are not doing math at their level. But I'm telling you also that those students are stressed. They're hungry. And so if we don't tackle those issues, we are not going to get our academics where they need to be.
Ms. McKinley, the last words will be yours. What would you like to tell our voters to vote for you?
My goodness, well, I would be honored to have your vote. but really because I want to make our schools better. And it's not just a blanket statement. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I graduated from CCSD schools. My brothers graduated from CCSD schools, all my cousins, my entire family. And I want my daughter to go to a CCSD school. And that means that we need to get all of our schools up to caliber so that everyone wants to send their children to our public schools. Our public schools haven't been serving the public. They have been serving different interests, standardized testing companies that make a lot of money off of us and really don't produce much. And I really want to take those resources and put them back into our community. You should also vote for me because I'm not a politician. I already have my career. My desire to do this is really to make this better for our children. So if you vote for me, I will fight for your kids. Thank you so much.
Mrs. McKinley, you're a candidate for the CCSD board. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here at The Pulse with us. We really appreciate you. Folks, we're out of time for today's edition. Please join us again for next week. I'm Sarah Obal. We thank you for watching.
And I'm Sam Buban. God bless your week.